Not too loud.
You know what I do? Start off with a smile. I mean, y'all all right. As long as you'll be screaming and doing anything in the background. I'm here to water and stuff. It's fine. Happy Monday. Happy, marvelous, magical, magnificent, motivational Monday to all of you. I know it's late, but I know you to go to work today. So, let's get it going. Let's get it started. Talking about some things today. Won't be before you long, but I am being consistent with my lives. According to Instagram, I've only been doing my lives for 2 weeks straight. Actually, I've been doing my motivational Mondays for 2 years now. So they just started counting the streaks. So good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are. And I thank you for being here. I know a lot of you have probably had a day off. Happy pre-4th of July if you celebrate. My mommy's birthday is tomorrow. Yay. Happy birthday, Bernita Marie Lester Burton. I love you, Mom. My mom's birthday is tomorrow, y'all. Hi, Barbara. So, I'm excited about that. That's my celebration on the 4th. It's my Queen Mother's birthday. So that's what we celebrate on the 4th every year. So thank you for wishing my mother a happy birthday. So shout out to Renita Marie, whose birthday is tomorrow. She is a young 70. What am I? I'm 42. I think she'll be 76. A young 76. So happy 76th birthday to my mom. Can't believe. No, wait. She's 77, I think. Look, she between 75 and 77. I gotta do the math. But she's young. She's young in heart, young in spirit. Um, thank you for joining me. If you're watching this live, drop a 1 in the comments. If you are new to my live, drop a 2. If you're watching the replay, drop a 3, and I really appreciate it. So let's talk about it. It's Motivational Monday. If you don't know who I am, my name is Toria Howard, and I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. So what up, though, to all my Detroit people? And I'm all things real estate, commercial, residential. I also do financial literacy, credit repair, all of that, business funding. I do all of that, right? But we're talking about taking the limits off today. Let's talk about taking the limits off today, okay? So that just dropped in my spirit because I was thinking about, because I did something on limits earlier this year, but it just was more or less, what did I write? Because I write it in my journal, because I try to keep track of it. Because I do a podcast too, Living with No Limits. But today it's taking the limits off. And it came into my spirit because I talked to a young lady today, and she said a lot of things are holding her back. And one of the things was fear. So how did I break down limits? Because I always give myself an acronym. So lasting improvements motivate, increase in tenacity while you shine. So whenever you are thinking about limiting yourself, think about the improvements that you need to do, right? Because limits are putting a boundary. You putting a boundary on yourself. And a lot of times we don't, you know, of course there's certain circumstances where we have boundaries. I mean, things are put in our way that limit us, but we can break through that. I call it glass ceiling breakers, right? You break through that ceiling and make it your floor. That's what I call it. So there is no limit. Sky's the limit. There is no limit, whatever the case may be. But a lot of us put the limits on ourselves, and a lot of that limits come from fear. Now, I am a Christian woman, so um, Psalm 73:7 says, their eye bulge with abundance. They have more than heart could wish. You have to see something way beyond what's in front of you. And that's the thing. A lot of people can't see past their circumstances, so that's a limit because they come from a certain place, because they don't have more than somebody else, because they don't have opportunities, they don't have exposure. All of these things, unlimited mindset, yes, all these different things, right? But you have to look beyond that. And when you do that, you know, your eyes supposed to see abundance. Your eyes are supposed to look way past what is in front of you. So it doesn't matter if you come from the hood. It doesn't matter if your parents were this and that. It doesn't matter if you were adopted. It doesn't matter if you something happened to you as a young child or whatever as an adult. We put these limits on ourselves to stay in a uncomfortable, comfortable place because we're fearful of moving forward, right? And a lot of times we're fearful of moving forward because we can't get past the limits that other people put on ourselves, well, how the limits we put on ourselves, and the limits that society, quote unquote, put on ourselves. And a lot of times they washing dishes, y'all. I hope you can hear me. So a lot of times we take those type of things, and we a lot of times it's all a combination of all of it, and we make an excuse as to why we can't get out of it, right? you know I came from the hood, but yeah, I had both my parents, but they divorced. I could have used, my parents divorced, like, well, I'm never going to get married because my parents were divorced. I didn't see a happy marriage, right? Marriage is tough, marriage is hard, marriage is work. And I never thought of it in that way. I did have some problems when I was younger because, I was a daddy's girl. So I blamed it on my mom. I did all these things. I was mad at her for a while, but then I just realized that just people just sometimes just make mistakes. And they both realized they made a mistake later on, but they too stubborn to get back together, y'all. Don't tell them I told y'all that. But, you know, that's the thing. Like, sometimes the limits that we put on ourselves make us see, past the person. I did it, past the person that's in front of us because we might think that something is out there better, right? Whatever the case may be, or, that feeling that you had is, it feels good at the time, a temporary feeling. But feelings are temporary. So, you know, a lot of times we have to just sit back and look at what's around us, what's in front of us, and really figure out what it is that we really want. And if you see abundance, you know, your like it says, your heart, you can have more than what your heart's desire, but you have to see it. It doesn't matter if you came from poverty or whatever the case may be. I'm in a company right now. The top position, this individual, he's is he 30? I think he just turned 30 this year, or turning 30. The top individual in the company that I'm affiliated with the financial literacy, used to pick up trash on South Beach. Now he's a multimillionaire. One of the top leaders, he used to be going to work every day broke as a banker. Now he's a multimillionaire. If they couldn't see past, imagine picking up trash for a living. And a lot of us, have jobs. It might not be making a whole lot of money, but imagine having to pick up other people's trash for a living. Could you see past your circumstances to see multi-millions of dollars? Some people can't, and that's the reason why they're stuck where they are, right? I know another individual who, ML Billion, he told us his story. He used to be homeless. He used to sleep under a bridge. He's a billionaire now. So if you can see past your not the past, see past your current circumstances, you know, and see abundance, you can receive more than your heart's desire. And that's what they did. That's what they saw. Picking up trash, living under a bridge. Who can imagine coming from that and being a multimillionaire or a billionaire from that? Going to a 9 to 5 every single day and broke. You can't even eat, you can't even buy yourself food, and you're a multimillionaire now. I know a young lady who has 7 foreclosures on her credit as a realtor. Okay. She's a multimillionaire now. I know another young lady who was homeless, sleeping in her car with her children. She's a multi-million-dollar real estate broker, realtor, and developer right now. So you have to be able to see past what is right in front of you. Take the limits off. Take the limits off. There's no limits. And I'm talking to myself because sometimes I get down on myself because I'm not where I want to be. I thought I'd be further along in my life. And, you know, the reason why that I'm not is because I had limits. I put the limits on myself and I did not break loose. And I still have limits that I put on myself because a lot of times I spread myself too thin and I can't get everything done. And then I get hard on myself. And then it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just spiraling out of control. And that's how I feel. I'm spiraling out of control. And I have to bring myself back in. And that's a limit. When you limit yourself, when you can't see past your circumstances to see the big picture of what you actually supposed to be doing. A lot of distractions cloud you. AJ Johnson, she did a video about how you're in your valley moment and you can't see past that valley moment, knowing that that valley moment is temporary if you can just see past it. And a lot of times we can't see past it because it's hurting. We're hurt. It's tough. It's a struggle. You can't put food on your table. You don't have money for certain things. You got cents in your bank account. Okay. So when you cannot see past what's in front of you, it's hard for you to move forward. Take the limits off. Take the limits off. Like I told that young lady today, she said, well, I got a past. Everybody has a past. Some of them are good, bad, and indifferent. And some of the people that come from good past lives still make mistakes, still mess up their lives. But because they come from privilege, it doesn't look as bad as it seems on the outside, but they're hurting on the inside. A lot of people think that because people have things and the outer appearance look good that they're this whole entire individual. No, people like that are hurting too. They just have the money to mask it. And then they go alone and they do things and things happen. Why do you think, you end up with, all this, different, suicides and drug addictions and all these other different things? Because they're hurting inside too. Take the limits off. Who cares if you have a past? We all do. We all made mistakes. Take the limits off. Who cares if you've been to jail, been molested? I know those things hurt, but take the limits off. Like you cannot continue to use that as excuse to stay where you are. Like it says, see abundance and you will receive more than your heart's desire. I told you about 5 people who were in destitute. One of them even lost her whole entire family in a car accident. 7 foreclosures. You know how bad 7 foreclosures I should say, 7 foreclosures are on your credit report to bounce back from, to be a multimillionaire. Take the limits off. So, our circumstances seem so bad because we're in it. But when we learn about other people and what they've been through, sometimes our situation is not as bad. And you might not be living in the house that you want to live in. You might not be at the job you want to, be at. You might not have the spouse that you want. You might not have family that supports you. You might all these different things, right? But it's somebody that wish they had what you have. Because we all have something that is special and unique about us. Sometimes we can't see that, and we wonder like why she or why he jealous of me or whatever, because you still possess great qualities in your valley moment. Even when you're at your lowest point, you still have value. You have to see it. You have to feel it until you're at your mountaintop. You have to make that ceiling your floor. So another scripture, 2 Corinthians 6:12 says, you are not restricted by us, but you are restricted by your own affections. We restrict ourselves. The mountain is you. And a lot of times when we're in our valley moments because of the fact that we put ourselves there because of the choices that we made. But we want to point the finger at society, at your parents, at the boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever it is. We want to point the finger instead of pointing the finger back at ourselves. I know for me, I was self sabotaging. I was not doing what I was supposed to do, focusing on things that I shouldn't have been focusing on, not putting things in place that need to be in place. So my valley moment came from being disobedient because God talks to me. I hear it. That small, still voice of the Holy Spirit, He talks to me. Do I listen to it all the time? No, I don't. Should I listen to it all the time? Yes, I should. Should I have listened to my mother a lot of times? Yes, I should have. Did I? Absolutely not. So, a lot of times we're in the circumstances that we are in because of the choices that we make, our own affections. But we still want to blame it on society, mama, daddy, brother, sister, husband, cousin, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, this and that. Circumstances that happen. Yes, bad things happen. Things don't turn out the way that we want. I mean, but if you're still alive, that means you still have a purpose. Look at Tyler Perry. This man used to sleep in a Geo Metro, and he's like 7 feet tall, okay? He's a billionaire owning his own studios. He had plays where people never showed up. Did it stop him? No. I have, I don't have thousands of people, hundreds of people on my lives. I've been doing this for 2 years. Now, did I stop? Yeah, I did. Not because I didn't get the followers or whatever, but because, I just didn't feel like doing it no more. But that's that's a limit. Because I didn't feel like doing something, I stopped doing something that I've been doing consistently for the last 2 years. I've been doing motivational Mondays. I've been going live for the last 2 years. And I had cut it out, took some time off. Yeah, it's good to take time off and do all of that. But, when you're building, it takes longer to build when you take time off. And if you're building and you take time off, you lose time that you cannot get back. So no telling what could have sparked during the times that I missed those days. Last year I did a 21 day live challenge, and I didn't finish it until, matter of fact, this is my anniversary this week. Um I finished it, but I started it back in March and it took me to July to finish it. Now I'm on a 21-day fast. It's not a real strenuous fast. I get to eat once a day, and I do get to eat soup and smoothies, liquids throughout the day. So it's not a real, but this is something that God told me to do. So I'm doing it. And I was supposed to do it back in January. So if I would have did it back in January when I was told to do it in the first place, being disobedient, no telling what would have happened. I don't know what's going to happen out of this fast. I know what I asked for. So what I asked for, and like it says in Psalms, my eyes see abundance, but my heart I'm going to get more than what my heart ever wished because I'm being obedient. I made the one step, God is going to make the rest. And I have to remember that. Take the limits off. Disobedience is a limit because you want to do it your way. That is a limit. Fear is a limit. Not doing something because you don't feel like it is a limit. Not doing the work because it's too much is a limit. Not seeing your worth and understanding that you deserve respect is a limit. Insecurities is a limit. So we have to take the limits off in order for us to be able to move where we need to go. That's all. That's it, right? So last one is Proverbs 4 and 12. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. And when you run, you will not stumble. It's time to run, man. Because you're not going to stumble. I look back at my old videos. They were terrible. To me, they were terrible. I mean, this might be terrible. Somebody told me that they don't like the way I start my lives off. It was weird because I pause and I smile and I do what I do. But that's just me. If you don't like it, then do something on your own platform, right? But it did make me mad, but it didn't stop me from wanting to do my lives. It was just like, you're telling me something looks weird when you don't even do it yourself. Okay, gotcha. So, I should have let it get under my skin, but I did. I'm human. And I told that person what I wanted to tell them. Now, it didn't stop me, it didn't limit me from doing it, but it was just like, it was perplexing to me because I've been doing this for 2 years the same way. And he was the only person to say that out of the 2 years. Was he hating? I don't know. Was he trying to give me constructive criticism? Maybe. It's a part of growth. All our first video make us think like what yeah, the first video is crazy. So yeah, I've been doing, my lives for 2 years. I've been doing my short in like informational videos for 2 years as well. I just thought about that. And I've gotten way better. I've, incorporated a lot of different things. I'm natural now. It's not like forced. It still take me a lot of takes sometime, but hey, it is what it is. So, you know, I know that I'm here for a purpose. I'm still reaching that goal, reaching that purpose and going towards that light, but I'm the light in my tunnel right now because I'm taking the limits off. I have to get out of my own way. Take the limits off. You know, I can't blame nobody else for my life being the way that it is. I have to take the limits off. Now, bad things happen to good people all the time. But am I going to waddle, in that and stay there and be there and dwell on it? That's nothing but wasted time. So I have to look at the solutions instead of it as, look at the problem. I got to figure out the solution. And it's not even I. Let me backtrack on that because anytime I figure out a solution, it's usually not the right solution. So I have to, I'm a Christian, so I have learned to pray more, get into my prayer closet, and actually sit down and listen to that inner voice of the Holy Spirit that guides me. Do I listen to it all the time? No, because sometimes that voice can scare you because it's like, you want me to do that? And sometimes you misconstrue that small voice with, that's telling you to do something with the voice of the enemy because he whispers to you too. But it's a different type of whisper because if the whisper causes you confusion, then you know it's not from God. If the whisper causes you be fearful because it's something that you've never done before or out of the ordinary, or it's just out of your comfort zone, then most likely it's the Holy Spirit, because he wants us to take that one step, take the limits off. A lot of us just scared to just touch your toe in the water. Just put a toe in the water, right? You know, and we have to take the limits off. So limits are we put on ourselves only hinder us from what is promised. I heard somebody say, I'm not everybody is not built to, be an entrepreneur. Granted, everybody's not built to be a CEO. Who says it? You could be the CEO of you. Everybody think of a CEO as, running a Fortune 500 company. You don't have to be that way. You have to be the CEO of you. If you're not being in control, of yourself, and you're growing and you're doing the things that makes you happy. If working for other people make you happy, by all means continue to work for other people. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Because, you know, everybody don't want that responsibility. I get it, because it can be lonely at the top when you got to, especially when you got to delegate responsibilities to people and individuals that are not like you. And I had to learn a long time ago. My mother told me this a long time ago. That Toria, everybody's not gonna be like you. Am I perfect? No. Am I a go getter? Yes. Am I self motivated? Yes. Does it take a lot to light fire under me? No. Does it take me a lot to move? No. So I want more people around me like that. But I had to think about it too. When I had a classroom, when I was teaching, I wish I had 30 students that were the same, that, wanted it, and all it. They weren't. There were 30 different individuals that wanted 30 different things. And then the next 30 came, or the next 20 came. At one point, I had a class of 38. Imagine that, teaching English. So, I had to realize that everybody is not going to be the same. And you have to be able to act accordingly in order to spark whatever that is that's inside of them to come out. And I had to do that. Difficult? Yes. It's even it's more difficult than to do it with adults than it is with children. Because as adults have so many barriers and gates and, and chain link fences and what's it, barbed wire and brick walls that you got to break down in order to get to the person that, it's a little bit difficult to change that mindset. But if they're willing and ready, then it will happen. That's what it is with adults. You can kind of talk if you're a good talker, like I am with children. You can talk them out of, kind of talk them into, with adults, they're gonna continue to do it until they make the decision and see it for what it is. And I had to learn that too, dealing with real estate clients and credit repair clients, business funding clients. Oh, it's a mosquito in here. Everybody is not going to, conform when you want them to. They have to make that decision. And a lot of times we make a decision when we're on our back. And I hate the fact that it has to get that drastic for us to make a decision. Sometimes you just got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. Fear is the number one limit. We only fear because of insecurities. The more you do something, you it weakens the insecurity. What combats fear? Activity. Continue to do it. I know a lot of people, a lot of real estate professionals come to me and they say, "Oh, your videos, how do you do that? I don't want to be on camera." Look, listen, you don't have to be on camera anymore. You can create your avatar. I'm gonna do that sometimes myself to delegate responsibilities. You can create your avatar to look just like you. Type in the words you want to speak. Put it with your voice, and voila, there you go. You're not on camera, it's your avatar, right? So take the limits off. It's too many excuses out here. Like if it's it's something that's going to help you, then you have to just go out there and do it. I'm like an extrovert introvert. I don't like talking to people all the time. But if I don't talk to people, how are they going to know that I have something that they need? But sometimes I'll be like, oh, I got to talk to them today. I don't want to. How many of you just don't feel like talking to people all the time? I know me. I don't. But it's like, Toria, if you don't talk to people, how are you going to get the network? How are you going to get people to know who you are, what you do? How you if you don't talk to them, how are you going to know what they do, who they are, who they know? Because a lot of times we are around people that maybe a six, it's like the 6 degrees or 7 degree of separation from that person that could change your life. But because of fear, or because you don't want to take the limits off, that keeps you from meeting that person. So no, we are capable of any and everything we put our minds to. We are. I know I can accomplish any and everything I put my mind to. I just have to focus on one thing, Toria. Okay. I spread myself too thin. I'm not gonna lie, and it's one of the parts I'm putting in my book that I'm writing about my experience becoming an entrepreneur. It's gonna come out, and it's gonna be different than what you think, because I wanted to share my experiences of the things that I did wrong, all wrong. It's not gonna be a book about the steps to become an entrepreneur. Nope. It's all the things I did wrong that you shouldn't do, that stagnated me and kept me here. So, it's going to be a different take on it. And is it going to be a bestseller? Yes, it is. New York Times best-selling author right here. That's me. Um, is it going to catch fire? Yes, it will, because it's different. I'm speaking into fruition. So listen, on what's this? Just July 3rd, 2023, just know that you're talking to and seeing a best-selling author. Understand? Okay? Catch this wave. Get at me. But no, but you got to take the limits off. Now, how long have I had this book done? We ain't going to talk about that. We ain't going to talk about that part. We're not going to talk about that part. But I got another idea to put in it, and I got to work on it. So I'm going to have to stay up and lose some sleep and get it done, because it's something that I feel like people need. I'm taking the limits off. Taking the limits off because I've been holding on to this for too long, and it needs to be released. I actually got the idea of my 5-part series last year, and I've been working on it since last year. Why did it take me a whole year? I don't know. Take the limits off, because I'm procrastinating and putting everything else in front of it. So I say that to say this: take the limits off. If it's fear, if it's insecurities, if it's I don't feel like it, if it's I don't, whatever it is, self sabotage, um, self, what's it called? Self defeating words. Affirm. You see, I just affirmed I'm a best selling author, New York Times bestseller, worldwide, international bestseller is me, right? Affirmations are real. I didn't really believe that at first. I do affirmations sometimes twice a day, and it's the same affirmations. They haven't changed. I'm going to speak what I seek until I see what I spoke. Alyssa Barnes said that. I know she probably got it from somewhere else, but that's the first person I heard say it. And that's a very profound statement. because you have to speak it in order for your, you think it first so you can speak it, but when you speak it, you it put it back into your spirit to really believe it. And that's what I believe, affirmations are. I think affirmations have become cliche in a way, but it has so many things that you can do. Take the limits off. Stop saying what you can't do. What you can do, say, I will do. I am whatever that is. And watch it. God should change for you. I'm on Clubhouse a lot. If you're not on Clubhouse, it's a good networking tool, great people on there. I mean, it's some people that are bad, but it's people that are bad on every social networking site. And I'm in a group called Women into Networking. And um 3 years. Claim it. Uh, I'm in a group called Women into Networking. My husband throwing me off, and um, it was a lady. Her name is Miss Carol, and she has been manifesting about a mansion for the last 2 years. She just told us last week she put in a contract for that mansion. Manifestation. So take the limits off. Find out what it is that you're searching for. What is it that you need? What is it that you want? Write it down, make it plain, speak it every single day. I wrote down 100 things one time. I think it's in it. I got notebooks everywhere. This one is I can, I will, watch me. Right. I wrote down why I want to be a millionaire. 100 reasons why. I wrote this a year ago, a year and a half ago. And all of this is in here. Now, have I revisited this and came back to it? I wrote it in green because green is one of my favorite colors. Orange is my ultimate favorite color, but green is my next favorite color. But I wrote it in green because green is money. And it's not about the money. Of course, money makes things easier, but it's all about me being able to serve more people because of my abundance. And that's what I want to do. Miracles follow me. That's what my shirt says. And I believe that. So I'm putting myself in position. I'm taking the limits off. You should too. How many of you gonna take the limits off? Put a fire emoji in the chat, in the comments. How many of you gonna take the limits off? No more limits. Put it in the comments. To put a fire emoji in the comments if you're taking the limits off. Unlimited mindset, as Barbara Glenn said. So I just wanted to come on here for a few. Past my bedtime. Look. And hi, birthday twin. And yeah, it's time to take the limits off, you all, and get to work, get to doing, take that first step, put that toe in the water, and don't be afraid. It's cold. It's gonna be difficult. You might not feel like you can breathe sometime, but you're gonna be able to breathe. You're gonna get all the oxygen that you need when you get on top of that mountain, out of that valley. So I bid you adieu. I'll see you tomorrow for Real Estate Tuesday. And if you need any of my services, my link is in my bio on my Instagram. Happy birthday. We have my birthday twin on here. On Facebook, it's pinned to this live. And on my YouTube, it is in the detail section. So let's network. Let's get together. Let's see how we can improve all our businesses, our lives, and see what we can do. Because whenever we can come together and do something as a collective, that's when magic happens. That's when, the ultimate thing can happen. And we can do this all together. There's no competition. It's me versus me. I'm not in competition with another woman. I congratulate everybody I see doing well. Not because, I'm just doing it because it looks good. I'm doing it because when you clap for others, you will be rewarded. But I feel genuinely good about when other people are successful, because a lot of us just see the success, but you should understand that I'm pretty sure there were some hard times in there. So I bid you adieu. As they say in Shakespeare, I'll see you tomorrow for Real Estate Tuesday. And happy 4th of July. Yes, I'll be back on the 4th, my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Vanita Marie. My mother's birthday is tomorrow. And I love her. So I'll see you tomorrow for Real Estate Tuesday. Bye bye.